Hey everybody, I am working on pumpkins again. They're just not where I want them to be yet, so you just keep working, you know? Do your best. I also want to try just some different compositions. Take some time and everything. Hang on. Hey Maggie, can you help me for a sec? Can you grab this stool and get it out? It's like in my light. It's like creating a shadow.
Okay.
And then if you could move this chair back too, that would be super duper awesome. Thanks, baby.
Do you know if anytime we do it, you do a live?
I know you want to do the gummy bear soon, right?
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that live, probably. So. All right, and then we're just going to sketch over the top of this pumpkin here because this is where I'm going to put the flowers. And then we can just go in and erase if we want to. And then I'll use this sketch to kind of guide me when I paint this tonight. So whatever, so much better together now. That's what everyone's talking about. Okay. And we're just sketching right now. This is my Lita sketchbook, Lita Art Supply sketchbook. It's a really, really good sketchbook. So I did this yesterday. So I sketched these yesterday. And then I actually painted in this yesterday, even though this is really only meant for like pencil and paper. And the back, of course, it buckled because it's not really meant for that. But look how good this actually turned out. I'm actually pretty impressed. I'll pin this here while I'm working on it. She's like, no, whatever. And they do have a flash sale on it for about 45 more minutes. And this is the medium size square, which I love square pages. I love them. I love them. I love them. Though I do think they have different shapes and stuff. But welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. Let me do a few more flowers here. I'm going to do another one here. Because I can do it better. I'm really good at thinking. Oh, yeah, thinking. Because I can do it better. Hey, you, what you got first? Think you need a new one. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it, Donna. No way, no, it's a secret. I love giving pumpkins these like more boxy, angular shapes. I don't know why. The style is definitely not as loose as my painting style, but I love it so much. All right, let's have this kind of curl out a little bit there. And then we'll build up this. Go. And then we'll build up some like trunk veins. go to me. I'm all say no, no, no. If you're part of my fan club, don't forget those daily heart me's. They give you all of the TikTok cred. It will push your content out more if you do. Okay, so that's pretty good. Thanks, Susan. Yes, love it. Love the daily heart me's. I know I have my people I do that for. And I don't think TikTok does a very good job telling or explaining it. I know, pumpkins are so fun. And I do prefer sketching them over painting them. I feel more successful somehow. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I do. No, no, no. Hi, Haley. No, no, no. Thanks so much for the puffy heart. All right, let's have another leaf coming in this way. Maybe a little more janky, less perfect looking. Maybe a little crumbly, which is why we're giving it that little curly on the end, like it's drying up a little bit. Oh, thank you, Andrea Buzz. Is it Andrea or Andrea? Short A or like lofty A? No, no, no. Thanks, Susan. Honestly, it's like my favorite thing to draw. I started drawing them last season, right at the end of Halloween season. And I'm like, oh, I did it too late. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this over once I finish my sketch onto hot press. I know, shocking. I don't usually hot press very much. Apparently, I did try and do something on this page. And then I will watercolor paint it, but not very loose because I'm illustrating today. I am not loosely painting today. Short A, Andrea, got it. Okay, so I want some leaves. So I'll add that down there and then we'll erase underneath that pumpkin. And then over here, I want to create kind of like those long little leafy branches. Candy's not the end of the world. Oh, 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 oh. Candy's not the world. Thanks, Haley. I appreciate the follow. And just so you guys know, probably this weekend, I'm going to start promoting my giveaway for when I hit 10,000. I'm very close. And Mead and I are collabing on a giveaway. It's going to include paper, like a Mead and paper pad, kind of like something like this. I'm not entirely sure the size. I'll have to figure that out. And then also brushes, Mead and brushes. So that's super exciting. I can't wait to start sharing to that. I will probably start talking about that this weekend. Depends on how close I am to 10K. So obviously, the closer I get to 10K, the sooner I talk about it. Okay. Thank you, Queen of Cheesy. I love your name. Thanks, Susan. Let's give this a few more leaves. Maybe one here. And then one down here. Okay, just like that. So again, sketchbook vibes. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna transition this over to watercolor paper. And there are a couple of ways to do it that are a little fancier. I'm just gonna use it as a guide. But if you really want to like trace it, or if you want to like, what you could do is you could go on the back, obviously not this back because I have drawings on it, but you could shadow in the back with a bunch of lead and then take this paper and lay it over the top like this and then retrace over the top, and all that lead will go through to the other side. So that's kind of a nice way to do it. I'm just going to use this as inspiration though. And I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to do this in colored pencil. So, no, actually I'm going to use watercolor pencil. And I'm going to start with this orange color, actually. This orange color. Now, this watercolor pencil set is not in my shop. So I'll just pin the paper. This is from Karst, and Karst is not on this app. So I just want to be really like clear about that. And how is the lighting for everybody? Can everyone see okay? I don't have my overhead light on, partially because I've got my other stuff plugged in right now. All right, so I'm going to put this here. It lays pretty flat. I just want to make sure it's super flat. And I'm going to do it this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. And I want to make sure I have enough at the top for my stem. And I'm going to leave some space here for those flowers. Okay, actually, let me do the flowers first because that could get real sticky real fast. Let's see. I think I want them to be pink. So let's do pink. Give up, don't give up, don't give up. Oh, no, no. Now, the other thing is too, this is watercolor. Like I'm going to go over it in water and you're going to see it just kind of like fill in. So if this line is over this, it doesn't really matter. I can wash it enough to make it disappear. Let's go in with yellow as well in the middle. Okay. Don't give up, don't give up, oh no, no, don't give up, give up, don't give up. And I'm going to go in with the same color pencil here. I'm just going to give it. And if I want to change the color of this pink when I'm painting it, I can. And I know this is not normally the style you see from me, but I do love sketching. Okay, we'll leave that there. I think I gave this a little bit of a fold. And then we'll do another little fold down here. Just that impression of like the leaf is kind of folded over. Thanks for the follow, Haley. All right, I'm going to do some leaves too while I'm here. I'm just going to go in, well, maybe I'll go in with a light blue actually. I know that sounds weird, but you'll see. So I have this one that's coming up over here. Just going to build up its leaves. Happy almost Wednesday for those of you that celebrate. I know I do. Let's have another leaf coming off of here, like over on this page that I initially drew. I think I had a stem there, but that's okay. And then we're going to make some more leaves down here. And then one sneaky one up here. Again, I'm not super worried about the overlap because with watercolor, it will move this around. All right, we've got leaves, 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 and now I can finish the pumpkin. Hey, Chels. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, love the daily heart me's. If you haven't done that, guys, do that. It's good for you and for me. Okay. Just curling that under. I think I'm trying to like get perspective. This is pretty well tucked in under those flowers. I'm not going to worry about the bottom. And then I'm going to build up that top. Oh, that's okay. I forgive you. Do I want brown? Yes, I do. And then I'll use that blue again. I'll put that blue back. Nope, it's hiding. There you are. Thanks, Vanilla Fox. Let's do a leaf. Oh, I had it under here, didn't I? And then we'll have like a little leaf tucked behind there. Oh, I remember I was making this one a little bit janky because it was starting to curl up a little bit. I did another leaf here. Guys, for me, let's see. Even wise, I've got more space over here. So what do I do? I could put another flower over here, maybe yellow. Let's try it. Make sure, let's do the center orange on this one. I'll do it over in this corner. It's okay that I go over the top of this. It's okay. Because I can build up this paint over here any way I want. And this is where you kind of step away from your sketch because remember, I did this sketch first in my Lita Art Supply sketchbook, and now I'm on the Meeden paper, and I'm on the hot press because I want to play with like illustrations more today. And this paper is really, really, really meant for illustrations. Unless you're very loose and like to play with puddles. I'm not a big puddle person. I like puddles, obviously. I'm a watercolor artist, but I like to have a little bit more control. So don't worry about all this. All that I can wash that out as I'm working. Okay. I think this setup is pretty good. Let's do another leaf back here. Okay. And let's see, composition. And let's have a little curl coming out this way. Okay. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. All right. I don't know if I can zoom this back any more than I already have, but you get the vibe. So I'm gonna start, I said vibe again. I'm gonna start using water on this. So I'm gonna change out of my colored pencils and I'm gonna change to my brushes. I'm using Christy the Painter brushes today. I grabbed this one. I think I'm just gonna use this as a filler and I'm really gonna use this one the most. So I'm gonna close out my block of paper here. And I'm gonna pin those brushes. And if you happen to be shopping in Christy's shop, if you could let me know if it's working for you. She said it told her that, I was talking to her today. She said that it told her it was deactivated. And I'm like, well, it's letting me add it to my showcase. So someone's lying to you. Either it's my showcase or it's TikTok, and I'm not entirely sure which. So all I'm doing right now is going in with water. That's the beauty of watercolor. You really just, watercolor crayon or pencil, you just have to add water and move it around. It kind of reminds me of those coloring books as kids where all you had to do is add water with a brush and it would change color on the page, which was always kind of cool. Now, am I going to leave it this way? No, I'm definitely going to add some colors and tones to this as well. But for right now, I'm just kind of filling everything in. And I don't have a preference how much water is necessary. Not a lot, especially for a hot press. Like literally I just wet the brush And you don't want like a mop brush. If you're using like, let me show you. I say mop, not just mop, but like quill brushes, these hold a ton of water. You don't really want to use that on something like this. You want something that's probably a bit more specialty, like this is a dagger, and daggers like this don't usually hold a ton of water. So you'll have a bit more control. So if you're leaning into my style, like what I'm doing right here, you'll see there's like no puddles. There's no puddles on that paper. I'm just moving water around from my brush to make the pigment activate on the page. And again, I have no preference for watercolor pencils, hence why they're not really in my shop. I don't use them very often, but the ones I'm using today are Karst, K-A-R-S-T. And they are not in my shop because they are not on the app. Okay, this is a petal, so I'm gonna leave that alone for a second. This is not, so I'm gonna color that in. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back at that pumpkin with some brighter, more vibrant colors. I'm gonna move my sketchbook because I'm kind of done with it for right now because the sketch is down. Okay. I have watercolor, but so bad with the ratios. I hear you, Melanie. I think the ratios are the hardest part of watercolor. It's not the you make a mistake and you need to fix it. That's all very doable. Oh, I just realized. Oh, that's supposed to be a leaf anyways. That's okay. I think the ratios are the hardest too. I don't think you're alone in that, Melanie. I think most people really struggle with those ratios. And sometimes it just takes the practice of painting and painting and painting and painting. The other problem with the ratios is that it's very different depending on the paper that you're on, right? So I'm going to turn my volume down here a little bit. So for instance, if you're working on hot press, you're going to see the puddles immediately. But if you're on cold press, the puddles are going to sink into the paper and you're not going to see the puddles and you're not going to know how dry or wet something is because you're just not going to see it. So until you commit to a particular type of paper that you like most and that you like most painting on, I think you're going to have a hard time when you're testing out all the papers, figuring out all the watercolor ratios. So I would suggest committing to one brand of paper or one style of paper at least, and figuring out, like after lots of practice, what's working best for you. Now, you'll notice I'm going in and painting over this with actual paints. The paints I'm using here, and I will pin that for you so you can see, is this giant set from Arteco, and the paints are lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of move this around, okay? And why I'm adding it to this paper after already putting watercolor pencil on it is because watercolor pencil for me is not vibrant enough. I want my watercolor pencil to be more vibrant. So I just realized that I need to go in with paint. And so really the point of using the pencil is to establish the drawing without getting graphite on the page, because it's hard to erase fully graphite. And that's why a lot of people like to go in with colored pencil first. So that's why I'm using the colored pencil right now instead of pencil to do the drawing, if that makes sense to everybody. This area here, I'm going to actually make that a whole blue leaf. So I know what you're talking about. That one right there, that's going to be a full-on blue leaf, and I'm not going to color that in with the orange. I'm just going to use the blue. So thank you for pointing that out, but I do believe I'm going to leave that alone. And this is the only problem with using watercolor pencil, is that you can't erase your work. So if you're not super like mindful in advance as to what you're creating, you're going to have some overlap and you're going to have to play with that a little bit. Unless you have erasable watercolor pencils, which I'm sure that exists somewhere in the world. Oh, hey! You're going live soon, right? Alexis is going live soon, everyone. She's an amazing tutorialist on this app. And when I'm done, I'll try and be done around 7. You should go and see her because she's fabulous. And she is the one who just said, oh, hey, where is her? Where is she? Where is she? The Play School artist. I don't know why my mind blanked on her handle for a second, but she's wonderful and lovely. And I don't remember what she's painting today either. I know I saw it. I know I saw her post. What are you painting today, friend? The pumpkins are giving me life. Yes! Yes. Me love some pumpkins. We love them. All right. Let's go in with the brown. Honest to God, guys, there's so many different color paints in this palette. Look at this palette. I don't even know what brown to pick. I'm like, oh, hey, not sure. We should definitely use those fluorescents, shouldn't we? I think we should. All right, that looks like a yellowish brown color that we would often call umber. So that's not a bad one. I'm definitely gonna darken that up though, I'm gonna brighten up this pumpkin to be a bit more vibrant. But watercolor is all about building and layering. So one layer down does not mean you're done, unless of course you like it that way. Mylar balloons, I did see that. That's impressive, dude. Man, you know how to take balloons to the next level. You sure do. All right, I'm adding a bit more of a vibrant orange in here. Let's move this around so it's not so yellow. We'll leave some of the yellow tones in here though. And generally I tend to add more tone to the bottom of the item I am painting and the shadows of the item I'm painting. And then I will spread it out amongst the rest, but leave some spaces open so that there's an impression of light. This brush is a Baby Dagger, and it is from Christy Rice or Paint Crush on this app. And if you guys don't know Christy Rice, the woman is magical. She has, I don't know, I wish I had like her energy, her ambition, her, she just has this like zhuzh for life that is admirable for sure. Anybody else here follow her? I don't think she's on this app that much. I think she's trying to correct that because I told her the other day, I'm like, dude, you have a fan club over here. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I think she has been posting, so. I know she's been on YouTube a lot. All right, let's darken up this stem. I'm just gonna let that spread a little bit. God. I realized I didn't sketch that part out, so I'm just painting it in. Hi, Ocean City. Hello, friend. How are you? What did I decide? Oh, I decided on, what did I do, this one? Yeah, that's the one I did. Okay. Alexis, I am painting on hot press right now. Are you proud of me? Bye, Alexis. Okay. Let us add some fluorescence to this orange. Just a little bit. Let's see where it takes it. That's my life. That's my life. Okay. Let us do, I know, mind blown. Mind blown. I do it for illustrations, Alexis. I will use hot press for illustrations. I don't use it for my loose stuff. All right. Let's leave that pumpkin alone for a little bit because he is getting filled up with color and I don't want to overdo it. So I'm actually just going to lift up some of this paint a little bit because I don't want to lose some of the light in those little pumpkin puff parts. All right, let's go in for those, something that's not touching this. Let's do the blue leaves. Now you can see it's not a super strong pigment. So I can play with the colors on these leaves and not worry about them being blue. Or maybe I want to lean into the blue. I don't know. Like you can see, just putting this over that line that I had earlier with the orange yellow color for the pumpkin, it does kind of bleed into it a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to be adding color on top of this and it will not be that obvious. And then it becomes a wet on wet technique after I've filled all these in with water. And then I pick a green. So let's pick this yellowy one to start. And then we're gonna pop it in here and just let it flow. You see what's happening? Oh, I don't think I wet this one down. That's okay though. Aw, thanks for the you're awesome, friend. Hi. Let's add a different color to that. Let's add this. Okay, so this is the reason for the palette all by itself. Look at this green. This is not a green I ever have mixed, and I'm going to use it, and I'm excited to. Yay! Look how pretty that is. I like it. And I'm going to put it over here, over that color that we thought maybe before was the pumpkin. But we're just going to layer it around. And just let these colors play with each other and have the best time ever. And it feels very much like coloring in the lines, obviously, because I've already sketched this out with watercolor pencil. This paint is Arteco. Does it have the name on the cover? Yes. 128 colors, watercolor paint sets. It's in the white box at the bottom, and they are on sale for, let's see, how long are they on sale? Is it a flash sale? Is it a flash sale? It says it's a flash sale. So the colors range, or the packs range from 50, which is $17.99. The 100 color pack is $22. The 128 pack is $32. And the pack I am currently working on has 168, and that's $39.99. All right, let's come back in here. I don't want to really touch those leaves very much because I really like those colors in there. Hey, Chels, I'm working on hot press right now. Are you impressed by me? I'm impressed by me. Hey, buddy. This is the type, I know. Hi. Yeah, I am totally working on hot press, but this is, we've discussed this. I like illustrating on hot press. I don't like loose painting on hot press.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. This feels like a good sticker. I think it would give off good sticker vibes for sure.
Yeah, it gives like some nice vacation vibes.
Ooh, vacation vibes for pumpkins?
Yeah.
Cool. Is it the colors? Are they tropical?
Yeah. Like
Yes.
tropical.
My son has good ideas. Very good suggestion.
I think you should.
Is it too tropical or is it just enough tropical?
I think it's enough tropical, but if you want to add more tropical, you should.
Okay. I'm definitely adding pink. Is that tropical?
Yeah.
Okay. He's so cute. Tropical pumpkins. Where else in the world do they do pumpkins? Like, I mean, I would imagine Europe, like Northern Europe. Like, I would imagine the climate there is appropriate for them. Do they have pumpkins elsewhere? I just realized I forgot to paint the rest of those leaves. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to go in here and just go around like that. And then we can build up those little details in a minute. Hey, buddy. Chelsea said hi. He says hi back. Let me go back into these guys because I totally did not finish these babies. Come to me, baby leaves. And then you can always pick up paint from another leaf if there's too much there, like that one. Okay. And then it looks like we've got those pinky flowers left. So I can go in and I can just move this paint around and not be too precious about it because it's already sketched out. And then I can add colors in here after the water's down. Again, don't go in super heavy with your water or you will lose control of this pretty fast. Or at least that's my experience. Let's use this pink. This is like a bubblegum pink over here. I'll show you guys. Since we're leaning into tropical anyway, we'll use this one. Oh, the husband just came home. Ooh, that's really pretty. I'm just going to add, ooh, I just added way too much water right there. I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to add that pink just to the outsides, I think. So it looks less outliney and a little light in color. I kind of like the light pinky color. Right? Right? So pretty. I wonder if this is a shimmer. I think this is a shimmer. My light is not great right now. And I'm seeing some shimmer vibes on this pinky pink. Well, not my intention. I like it. Yeah, this is definitely a shimmer. All right, so I'm gonna have to be thoughtful about that as I'm working with it so I don't, if I go over it, I don't lose the shimmer, but I still have some of that stuff. I know, Chelsea, I promise. Give me like 10, 15 minutes. This is Bao Hong. Yes, this is Bao Hong. For whatever reason, Chelsea, they filtered that out. I just added that in. Yes. Okay. Okay. But I don't want to be on here too much longer because Alexis is going on at 7 with her tutorial. And I want that chick to have all the people there as possible. That's the Play School artist. All right, let's go in here and add a bit more yellow to the outside of these leaves. This is a good paint palette. I love my Meeden palette, and I still like, I think the greens in that palette is my favorite green, but I think this is a really great palette. I'm loving this green especially. I will be using this more, that's for sure. Dude, just say brands, it's fine. The paints are from Arteco. So this is the brand, hi, right here, Arteco, 128 colors. This is the most expensive palette. I just ASMR'd you, I'm sorry. This is the most expensive palette, but they do come in smaller palettes. This has like the full span over here. This is 64 of like all the colors. And then over here, well, maybe less than more than 64. And then over here are like shimmers and like the highlighter colors, the neons. So not everybody needs shimmers. Like if you're starting off, you don't need shimmers. You don't need highlights unless you absolutely know they're your vibe. Because generally shimmers are a layer on top of paint. Whereas these are the first layer. These are usually the second. And highlighters can be like the first layer, but not shimmers, not usually. Because the shimmers are so transparent a good chunk of the time. Like even here you can see, do you see the shimmer vibe on those flowers? And now I feel like I have to do it on the yellow too. So let me grab some shimmery yellow. We'll do this one. But this whole thing, this is all shimmers up in here. But this is a solid paint palette. Like if you're starting off and don't know how to mix, and I've been painting for a while and I don't like mixing that much. I like just dipping in because then I feel like I'm wasting paint as I'm dragging and pulling and trying to figure out where to put what. I am not a purist at all. Okay. And dude, I'm saying brands all day long. I'm blending. Here, I'll show you because I'm going to go back into this pumpkin and I need to add some more. So right now we're at first layer done. Let me just warm that up in there and add a little bit of orange. Nope, that's not enough. I need more than that. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to wet that up and add a little bit more yellow in there. There in the center. And there's a puddle there, but that's okay because the puddle isn't going anywhere right now as long as I don't lean into it. Okay. As far as like blending goes, like how do you blend? This is the first layer. Any blending I do at this point is going to be based on brush strokes. So if I go in up here, let's say I want to make this pumpkin a little bit more orange, I might draw or paint a brush stroke like this. Okay. Now for some people, that would be acceptably done. And they like the brush stroke quality of that. They think it looks cool, which I agree. I think it does too. But sometimes you just want to blend it out. So what I do is after I put the first brush stroke down, I add water to my brush to clean it out and then come back in with wet like a wet brush stroke, and it blends it out a little bit. And then you can choose how much you want to spread that out from there, or if you want there to be a water line. I don't really want there to be a water line, so I just blend that out to where I wanted it to go. Okay? I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna do it like 3 or 4 times. So let's do it here. Oop. Like that. I'm gonna do it here. And then I'm gonna go back in with a clean water brush and just put a white brush or a light brush stroke of water next to it and then pull it out. Light brush stroke of water next to it, see that it's blending, and pull it out like that. And if that's still too stark, you can always really scrub it out a little bit more like this. Okay? You can do it here too. And you can do it here too. And just kind of pull that out. I did want to put it in one more spot over here. And then again, clean water. Try not to go in too heavy with your water because then you're going to lose some control. I'm going to take and add this. This is pretty puddly right here. I don't really want it that puddly, so I'm just going to use, you can use paper towel. You can use an actual like towel. I'm going to use this sponge and just dip it out a little bit because I don't want it that wet because then it's going to have a line, like a water line, and that's not my favorite. I'm going to do it here too. Just a little bit. And then I can still go in. This is still wet. It's just not a puddle anymore. So then I can kind of go back in here and create some line work or some dot work, as it were. And this is a Christy Rice dagger brush for anyone who is interested. Yeah, I mean, you're going to always kind of struggle and figure out like the water ratio stuff as you're working. But if you go in with one paint stroke and then afterwards you go over with a water brush, just clean water, and you just kind of, you can either just do a water brush stroke next to it and see where it goes, or after you do the water brush stroke, you start to blend it out a little bit, you can do that too. I'm going to add some more tone down here to create a little bit more shadow because I want there to be shadow behind these leaves. And I want there to be more shadow over here behind that flower. See, ooh, that was a big puddle right there. Let's pick that up. Okay. And then I picked up some of that paint, didn't I? Oops. There we go. And then I just take this water and pull it up. Try not to cover the whole thing because you still want the lightness at the top of this pumpkin. And then I'm going to go back into the stem and really, like, remember how I drew the lines? Oh, that's way too wet. I need to go in drier. I want to create those lines I created underneath the drawing, or at least something similar to that. To kind of create the stump features and detail. And I'm just using the very tip of the dagger brush. Oh, yay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Christina. And then we're going to do that on the top too. Don't forget your daily heart meets, guys. If you're content creators, you know how important that is. And if you don't, I'm here to tell you it's important for the FYP to see you and know that you're participating in the app. There we go. Look how cute that is. And I'm going to do the same thing in the pumpkin, but I'm going to do it with more of these orange colors. Maybe not super bright, but a little bit of line work goes a long way. And I don't think I'm going to use mixed media on this today, guys. I think I'm just going to lean into the details I'm creating right now. Do you see how it makes that pumpkin pop? Like how cool that looks. Right, Angelica? Right, Melanie? It does something extra. Yes, it looks so good. And then I'm going to go back in again. I'm going to make some little spots. Okay. Let's play with the leaves a little bit more. And I am so playing with these colors today. I have no intentions here, guys. I have no idea what I'm doing outside of just following my drawing and adding some brush strokes in here and there. Some of it's a little careless and practiced. What color did I just use? Did I just use this one? Yes, I did. Oh, it's so satisfying. Once you get into it and once you're comfortable with it, honestly, it's number one, it's one of the most affordable mediums to be involved in because your paints just reactivate every time you open them. Like you don't have to worry about them drying out and being unusable. And also satisfying, just satisfying. All right, I did put the shimmer in here, which was not intentional, and I'm debating. Let me go in. I do want to just make this a little bit different looking. Let's paint over that line. Let's paint over this one too. Okay. I'm going to brown this leaf up just a little bit. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. That's the thing, Christina. I hate the waste with acrylics. Like, I love the layers. I love the textures. All of that stuff is very satisfying, like, no question. But I hate the waste. And I hate, like, and in my family, if I have to walk away from my painting for a second because something happens with the kids, there's a kiddo emergency, I know nothing bad is going to happen to my art if I step away. Okay, let us do some more detail on this guy with those petals. This might be too purple. Let's see. We'll see what happens. Could be a bad choice, but at this point I just don't care. I'm just going to do the thing and hope it works out. So I'm really leaning into adding pigment around these centers and then on the outside of these petals. And I'm not redunking, partially because I'm going to go back in with some of those wet brush strokes and see if I can spread it out. You're at the beginning of your watercolor journey. Love your work. Thanks, April Martino. Let's see. Want to make sure I'm not missing any of these comments. Hi, Devin. Thanks. I really, honestly, have just been playing with my paint palette and seeing how it goes. So right now I'm just adding water, blending these guys out a little bit, leaning into this paint that I put down and just spreading it out a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to do it over here. You can see this has like these lines in these where like the water stopped here and the water stopped here. So I'm just going to combine them with a little bit of water and then those lines kind of disappear. I'm going to go in with a darker yellow and just kind of sharpen up some of these shadows a little bit. And then I am going to work on some details in that center as well. Thanks for the heart me's, guys. All right. Let me see how what that looks still pretty wet. I'm gonna dry this a little bit with my heat gun. I really want to finish this up soon. Hi, Tamu. Good to see you. All right. Let's. How is this feeling? That's pretty dry. Yay. Okay. What am I gonna do with these? I think I'm gonna lean into brown on this one. Okay. And then here, I'm just gonna put this around down this way. Like that. And then I'm gonna try and like really pull in some really teeny tiny straight lines, which this all takes practice. So you can kind of see, ooh, that was really close. I like that. And then let's see if we can make some lines on these petals. It's a little thick there. There we go. That's better. Using that tip here. And you can see, like, this doesn't look super perfect up close, and that's fine. I'm gonna zoom that back out. From a distance, it looks fabulous. Up close, it's all right. It's okay, Vanessa. You know where this is going. I will absolutely put it on YouTube. This was a spontaneous live. I was not planning on coming on. And then I was like, I should come on for a little bit. All right. No problem. It really does. Like just the textures. And if you're going to texture the pumpkin like I did, you really should try and do it a little bit of everywhere. And I know I feel like I'm pulling these out a little bit more than I should, but I do want to keep the texture in these pink flowers too. Just want to make sure the shadows are right here too. Right in there. There we go. And then some of this is you can just take your clean brush and pull the pigment that's in the center out. Just depends on how quickly it dries or how much pigment you have in there. The goal of flowers is almost always to have the darkest pigment on the petal at the center and on the outside, because that's where you're seeing the most curl and the most shadow in the actual flower. I mean, there's always something that's not exactly that way, but in this case, I did say I was going to have a shadow here. And I did have one down here too. Oh well. Thanks for the share. All right, I feel like these leaves need a little bit of extra to them too because I did so much with the flowers. Let me get a darker green here and see what I can do. I just want to go in super duper light. I don't want this to be, I don't want it to take over the leaf. And I do feel sometimes the veins have a habit of doing that. So if you can create kind of like intention, like you don't have to make every detail as obvious as it could be. trying not to smudge my hand on the other flower that I just painted. Okay, let's come in here. This is, I believe, 5x7. Let me check. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is 5x7. You can't see it really good because I'm losing light, but this is 5x7. It's my preferred shape of paper. Unless I'm working with square paper. Square paper is actually my favorite, but I don't work on square paper very much because it's not as frameable. There's just, without spending a lot of extra money, I want my art to be accessible, and that's hard to do when you're working on paper that you just can't buy easily in the stores, you know? At least here in the States. Right there. I may have overdone that leaf. Oh well. You're welcome. All right, I think this one's pretty much done. I'm gonna just add some colored pencil back in here to sharpen up a few of these bits. I'm just gonna go in with the black colored pencil right now. It's just easier. I could use my Stabilo, but the Stabilo is gonna be super vibrant and I'm not really looking for that right now. I just want a little bit. And you can do this with regular pencil too, or ink. I just like it because it brings attention to details that maybe get lost in the painting process. Like some of those folded petals I initially drew kind of got lost as I was painting them. It's real light, but it has a really cool impact. Thanks, Jamie. I especially want it on this yellow flower because I do feel like some of this got a little lost in the painting of it. So I'm kind of like going in and bringing some of those petal shapes back. But you're actually seeing some of that bleed from the watercolor pencil because that was actually still a little bit wet. And I got what you need. Okay, let's finish up these leaves and the stump, and then I think I'll be finished. And if you haven't gone over to Alexis's live yet, the Play School artist, she's doing balloons. She's doing a balloon tutorial. You know, like those metallic ones, those super fancy metallic ones. You should go check her out. I also like this to add some shadow work in some of the areas where I didn't really paint super duper shadowy. It's a real good hack for that. And then I think that's done, friends. And I think that's done. I think we finished it. I'm pretty happy with this. I think this turned out good. Of course I say that and I'm like, go back, fix it, fix it.
That's perfect.
It looks so good. Does it look tropical? Can you move over a little bit so people can see the light? Yes, thank you. And there we are, friends. Are you? I love that. It turned out so good. And it started from my sketchbook. So like there is a value in sketchbooks, and I don't usually use sketchbooks, but I've been really struggling to come up with a composition for my art class that I have coming up in a month. And I've honestly been doing a lot of pumpkin florals because I think people really like them. And I even painted in the sketchbook yesterday. In this case, Tamil, I actually just used a regular watercolor pencil. So it's not Stabilo. The Stabilo would actually be a lot stronger and a lot more scribbly. So the whole process, gang. Sketchy sketch in the sketchbook to sketchy sketch illustration with watercolor pencils and watercolor paint. And look at that. This turned out so cute. This needs to be a sticker. I need to turn this into a sticker. Oh, baby. I hate that her eyes are so goopy. Sorry, I'm just cleaning out kitten eyes. All right, any hoodle. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Thanks, Christina. Thanks, Vanessa. Thank you, Tamu and April. And everybody who left early. Chelsea's doing Alexis's live, so make sure to go over there and hang out with her if you've got nothing to do and want to see some amazing art. She is a hoot and a half. And maybe her husband will sneeze and she'll talk about it. So, and she has a basset hound who likes to cry during her lives. So maybe she'll tell you about her kindergartners too. But anywho, tomorrow I will be on IG with my friends. We are painting farm animal or farm birds. I think I'm going to do some chickens, maybe some geese. I haven't decided yet. I've been practicing chickens today for the first time, and it hasn't gone so badly, so we'll see. But that'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the other Meta app. So, all right, guys, I will see you again soon. I have not looked into the leaf sheep. All right, let me write that down. Leaf sheep. Sorry, guys. Christina told me about leaf sheep yesterday, and I forgot it. All right, that is on my list. Tropical pumpkins,
Yes.
check.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.